What is up, NFC North Roundtable fans? What a week we have to discuss. Week 10 review, Week 11 preview. Packers fall to the 7th seed. Bears keep rolling. Vikings lose the Battle of the Purple. And the Lions had a bye week, I think. Something of that sort. Either way, let me bring in the fellas. We're going to be short Dion. Dion will be here in a little bit, but we got one bar. We got Clayton filling in for Bass, and we got Nick, a.k.a. Donald Trump. Fellas, so good to see you. Donnie P, I see you. I see you.
Just so you know, Clayton's in the wrong spot. I'm supposed to be at the top because I am in first place. Never been there before. Please move me there, Jesse. Thank you very much. Let the people know that Clayton's a loser right now. I love that man. Beautiful Southern accent. He likes to talk about eggs. It's beautiful. But we're going to talk about this beautiful game we had this past week while the Bears very good at football. Thank you, Jesse. Have a good day.
All right. Well, we'll get to it. We might save you for last. All right. Just because I feel like, that's actually maybe Dion because he's not here. All right, well, let's talk about the Vikings first. They got the unfortunate schedule timing of playing the Ravens when the Ravens were as fully back as they could be. Lamar Jackson had his second game back, and it was close there for a bit, but the Ravens ended up pulling it off, man. Talk to me about what you saw one bar from your Vikings in this loss to the Ravens.
I mean, this was kind of the Vikings moment. This was a huge game coming off that Lions win. If you could pair that up with a big game against a big win against the Ravens, who were fully healthy. If the Vikings would have went to 5-4, I mean, it would have been a little bit time to start taking them seriously. But unfortunately, they crapped the bed. They completely crapped the bed all over multiple times. And the worst part is like only half the team crapped the bed. The defense absolutely showed up. They showed up. They played their balls off. Nobody on this defense by the end of the game had any balls left. They put them in a situation to win this game, and the offense just couldn't do it. I mean, when you look at the defensive side of the ball, they held Lamar Jackson to 175 yards, 36 yards rushing, Derrick Henry to 75 yards. They had 9 points in the first half. I mean, they were absolutely crushing it, and that's back-to-back weeks. The week before, they were doing the same thing against the Lions. Offensively, completely different ball game. I mean, it was about as ugly as you can get. 8 full starts. They had 8 full starts at home. The record, we looked it up. The record, obviously held by the Bears, is 9. I mean, it's absolutely insane to have that type of just crap at home. 8 false starts, 3 turnovers. They were 3 for 14 on third down. Justin Jefferson dropping touchdown passes. The theme of the game was the play calling, and I'll talk about that quick, but I feel like every week I kind of at least got to touch on J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy threw 42 times. The dude has never thrown it 42 times in his career, probably back to Pony League. Like, how are you setting up this team to win, and how are you setting up J.J. McCarthy to be successful if you're forcing him to throw 42 times when it's that close of a ball game? They ran it 13 times. They're averaging 6 yards a carry on the ground. Aaron Jones was having a very good game, and they just continued to just ignore running the ball. And that's the big talk of Vikings land right now is they're not running the ball. 3rd and shorts, they're throwing it deep, which ended up in interceptions. Very, very odd timing right now for the Vikings offense as far as what's going on. Like I said, defensively playing very good. The worst part is they were 100% in position to win this game at home, and the offense just couldn't get it going. J.J. McCarthy, no, he didn't have a great game at all. Interception, Justin Jefferson fell over on one, just leading to a very easy interception. Like I said, the turnovers, putting the defense in a situation where by the end of the game, the Ravens ended up getting 27 points, but, I'm surprised they didn't get 40 based off of how this offense played. The big question for me, and I think a lot of Vikings fans are starting to wonder the same thing, is with J.J. McCarthy's development, like Kevin O'Connell, very good with Kirk Cousins. Kevin O'Connell, very good with Sam Darnold. He's been very good with these veteran-type quarterbacks. Even back to the Rams, they had Stafford. Like, the big question is, can he groom? Is he built to groom a young quarterback like Kevin O'Connell? Because when you're not running the ball, when you're not setting up the play action, when you're not setting him up to win some games, it's an issue. And I know Matt LaFleur in Green Bay is getting a lot of crap too. It's funny, the last couple of days, all I'm seeing is Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur just getting absolutely blasted. And it's well-deserved. It was a tough loss. And, we got the Bears this week where maybe we can get back to 500, but very, very tough to watch a supposed offensive genius put on that display.
Well, I'll tell you that KOC is very highly revered from non-Viking fans, but the question becomes, One Bar, if this does come down to a JJ McCarthy developmental issue versus a KOC, who do you think wins that battle? I mean, let's say one has to go in the fan base, in the eyes of the fan base. I'm not saying either one's going to get fired, but like, where is the fandom at on it? Are they with KOC? Are they with JJ? Is it split? Like, how do you read this thing?
That's a very tough question, because I would say it's almost like everybody's on everybody. I mean, I would say it's probably split. There's a lot. I mean, nobody's given up on JJ McCarthy by any means at all. The bigger questions I would say lie on Kevin O'Connell. I think that's the more concern right now, because right now what we're seeing from JJ McCarthy is expected. If he goes out against the Bears and throws it 40 times, that would be insane.
You're done.
Week 1, when we beat the Bears, when the Vikings beat the Bears week 1, when the Bears lost in week 1 against the Vikings, JJ McCarthy threw it 20 times. I'm not saying he's got to throw it 20 times every time, but yeah, the bigger questions are on Kevin O'Connell right now. He's got to write this thing, and he's got to write it quick. If he goes down a path where JJ McCarthy continues to have shit game after shit game because of his play calling, he's not running the damn ball, it's because of him.
Well, KOC also, I mean, to be fair, even in the playoff game, you talked about how he works with some of the veteran quarterbacks and Sam Darnold, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember watching that playoff game. I remember the offensive line being banged up, and for some reason, he just dropped back repeatedly, put Sam Darnold in harm's way. And even thinking back to Carson Wentz in their playing, clearly hurt. It's not. Carson Wentz even came out and said, hey, it's nobody's fault. I knew what I was playing with. I knew what I was getting myself into. But KOC did him no favors to protect him with, once again, a banged up offensive line. Like, I don't understand it. Why is he so pass happy? And is he just incapable of drawing up a game plan that can protect his quarterbacks when need be? Like, what's going on here? He seems very Shanahan-esque, where it's like, it's my way. This is the scheme. This is what we do. Everybody fits into it, versus fitting around his personnel and what he has going on that week.
Yeah, I mean, when you have tight ends like Josh Oliver, granted he's been hurt. We're one of the. I mean, we got a fullback. We got CJ Ham. We went and traded for Jordan Mason, your guy. And it's funny because even in the offseason, he was like, we're committed to the run. We're running the ball. We went and signed Will Fries. We drafted Donovan Jackson in round 1, set up to run the ball. Everything was screaming, we're going to run the ball. And it's just not in his DNA. And even if he came out this week and ran the ball 25, 30 times, like, nobody's going to give a shit. It has to be a theme. Like, it has to become an actual theme for the games moving forward, and nobody's going to buy into it. Like, we have the personnel, like you said. He's just refusing to do it.
Well, listen, why don't we just take Shanahan's run scheme and KOC's pass scheme? We'll meld them together, and we'll have a really, really good play caller.
Man, that sounds like a Super Bowl game on. Let's go, baby. Let's go. It sucks.
Can
This
I just
team is very
interject real quick?
talented. It's very talented, and it's just it's frustrating.
Go
Can I
ahead,
interject
Nick. Yeah,
real
of
quick?
course.
As a Bears fan, it kind of blows my mind. Like, we've been terrible for so long. We would be grateful for what Kevin O'Connell has brought to that team forever. And like, also like with the Packers, like, I'm seeing Packers fans, Clayton, you can maybe speak to it too. And this kind of speaks to the whole subject, but everyone's like, fire Matt LaFleur. I'm like, why? Like, there's always bad stretches in football. One bar, maybe like you see more because I don't watch Vikings games that much, but it just kind of like blows my mind how like it's the panic button the second like you guys have one bad game, and maybe you guys can speak to it. And maybe the chat wants to throw that in there too, but it always blows my mind when everyone's like, fire everyone right away. Like, that's what Bears fans have done forever, and we get made fun of for it. But then like, I look at you guys, I'm like, you guys are a really good ball club. You guys just have a lot of injuries right now. I don't think it's Kevin O'Connell. I think he's a great play caller overall. I would have taken him over Matt Eberflus, but maybe One Bar, you have something to say to that.
I'll take my mailman over Eberflus, but like don't get me wrong. The frustration with Kevin O'Connell this year is because they're coming off such a great season last year, and what they did in free agency, expectations were 11, 12 wins minimum. So there's just frustration with JJ McCarthy and the way he is play calling and the amount of passes he's doing it. And he's just like with Sam Darnold, it was just, he was unleashing. I mean, that's why Darnold had 36 touchdowns or whatever. I'm not saying JJ McCarthy was expected to do that, but it's just, it's night and day compared to that. Kevin O'Connell is a fantastic coach. The dude ain't going anywhere.
Right.
But at some point, like maybe you look at possibly bringing in an offensive coordinator, like somebody to just, he needs somebody to push him a little bit more. And maybe he's more stubborn, but yeah, no, Kevin O'Connell isn't going anywhere. I'm a very big Kevin O'Connell guy. It's just run the damn ball.
And also, like, while we're here, because we don't have Dose, so we have some extra time, I just want to throw out there too, and Clayton, maybe you like hear the same thoughts on it too, or you might have the same thoughts on it too. But I was listening to Fox, CBS, and I'm like, dude, I think Kevin O'Connell misses who Sam Darnold. Like, and everyone, I feel like as Vikings fan base missing Sam Darnold now, because the offense looks completely different without him, and he's still succeeding in Seattle. I think that was a big mistake by the Vikings, but I'm sure you feel that one bar, but Clayton, maybe you too feel that same way, like an outsider looking in.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at the Vikings, I think KOC is a great head coach, but when we were going into the offseason, many Viking fans got real loud on my timeline. And really, really excited about JJ McCarthy. And I'm looking at it going, he may be great, but what do we have to say he is great up to this point, right? So you're going away from a guy who was in the running for the MVP for a good portion of last year. Now, was that a fluke? That's a fair argument too. Obviously, it's not the case because he's dominating out there in Seattle. But that was my only thing was like, if they hit on JJ McCarthy, this team is loaded. To what one bar was saying, they've got an awesome roster. But is the quarterback going to hold them back, right? And I don't watch the Vikings enough to say whether or not their run-to-pass ratio is tilted one way or another. But it's hilarious listening to One Bar talk, hearing you give commentary on it and kind of an outsider's perspective on the fan base, and it sounds exactly like the Green Bay Packers fan base.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So, yeah. And just to that point, and I don't want to take up too much time, but I actually was like, am I losing my mind? Am I the only Packer fan on the face of the freaking planet that thinks Matt LaFleur is a great head coach? So I put a poll question up, and sure enough, right at 70% said, no, I would not fire him. So it's the loud minority is what it is, essentially.
Yeah, I don't get it. It just blows my mind because like when we had Justin and like I know Andy Dalton is not like I think Andy Dalton's had a respectful career, but it just brings me back to like, Justin wasn't ready. Was JJ ready? Kind of deal. I don't know. It blows my mind when everyone's like fire everyone after one game, when the Packers are very much in the playoff. In fact, they're in the playoffs right now. If they started today, say everyone in this room right now, or sorry, One Bar, you're touching the playoffs, but yeah, sorry. I had to interject, and it looks like the chat has to agree. So I'm
not in the playoffs either. If the 49ers are
but you're like right there. You're poking at it. You're poking at it. It'd be crazy if everyone in here was in the playoffs, including Dion. Like if Dion was here, if we were all in it, I'd be like, this is the best show on the internet right now.
No, that would be crazy. It is an interesting perspective that you bring, Nick, being on the other side of things, because I can tell you, even 49er fans are finicky. I mean, Shanahan, 49er fans want to burn pitchforks and fire him every other year when they don't make the playoffs. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's just the way that it works. This is Bills fans I know want to do it with McDermott. So, it's the way it works in the NFL. Fans get finicky, and sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not. But
the chat is telling me to stop the Donald Trump voice, but I'm going to say everybody's crazy for wanting everyone fired. Carrie does not like it. She must not like the Bears either. That's okay. That's okay. Thank you, chat. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, let's we'll go losers first, then we'll jump into winners, and hopefully Dion's in here by then. We'll see. But Clayton's filling in for Bass this week. Once again, Bass got married a couple weeks ago. Clayton filled in admirably. Best background on YouTube, bar none. And this week, Bass is in, well, I'm not going to tell you where he's at because I don't want you to stalk him, but he's on his honeymoon, all right? Bass is on his honeymoon after getting married. So Clayton is filling in once again. Clayton, good to see you, brother. Glad that you're here. Last time, Bass set you up knowing that the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers, you were going to be playing them, and there was a possibility they might lose. That's why he chose to get married that week. He set you up completely. But luckily for you, your Packers won. This time he set his honeymoon to a week knowing you were playing the Eagles and there's a good chance you could lose again. And that's exactly what happened. A barn burner of a game, let me tell you. Geez, what a high score. Anyways, Packers lose to the Eagles in primetime. Clayton, talk to me about what you saw, brother.
Yeah, when it comes to this Eagles game, this is one going into the season I had chalked up as a loss. It just feels like Nick Sirianni has Matt LaFleur's number in that regard. I felt like have been a much more physical football team than the Green Bay Packers. So this is one, even though it was at home, I had them chalked up as a loss. I got to be honest. When I look at this game and how it ended up, yes, it's frustrating because you really do feel like you should have won the game. You felt like you were in it the entire night. But at the end of the day, when you take everything into perspective, Jaden Reed has been the Packers' leading receiver the last 2 years. He's been out since week 2. Tucker Kraft is your leading receiver this year with the absence of Jaden Reed. Well, he, obviously hurt his knee the week before. He's out for the season. So your top 2 pass catchers are gone. Well, what about your first-round pick, Matthew Golden? Oh, he's out in this game as well. We literally had Bo Melton, a backup cornerback, playing flyer. And many people were saying, why would he be playing F? Why would he be playing F in Matt LaFleur's offense? Well, it's because you've also got Savion Williams, a rookie receiver who's not ready to pick up the choice route aspect of playing F in Matt LaFleur's offense. You've got your Malik Heath, some players like that, but they like to line them up in different spots. So Bo Melton, reality really set in the second half of the game when guys started to get a breather. It was like, Bo Melton is our flyer right now. And sure enough, you had crucial situations where he had a drop pass. Those things start to pile up. Again, then you lose your center during the game, your starting center. So now we bring over our backup right guard to play center. So, and at the end of the day, and I know there's a lot of Packer fans, this is going to piss them off, and I really don't care, to be honest with you. I fan the way I want to fan. You guys fan how you want to fan. We took the Super Bowl champions to the wire and lost by 3 points without our top 3 pass catchers, our starting center, and I mean, like, what else can you expect from the youngest team in the NFL once again? And people get upset when you say that, but it's the reality. When was the last time the youngest team won the Super Bowl? So we're holding them up at this level of here's how they better perform, even though historically speaking, the youngest team in the league. I mean, I'm sure it's happened before, but it's few and far between, right? So, Jordan Love. Listen, you had some crucial plays. You lost the middle or the middle 8. You lost on one play. Okay, and what I mean by that is the middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the second quarter, the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. It's crucial. I didn't come up with that. That's Bill Walsh, Bill Belichick 101, right? They talked about how important it is. There's 3 aspects of the game. The first quarter is gathering information, right? The second and third quarter is about making the adjustment and controlling the middle 8, because if you win the middle 8, that last 4 of the second, first 4 of the third, you've got all the momentum going into the fourth, and the fourth quarter is a standalone game, right? You lost the middle 8 because you tried to shovel pass a ball out while you were wrapped up by 2 defenders. Jordan Love was wrapped up. He tries to shovel it to Josh Jacobs. They end up rolling it a fumble, even though the ball did go forward. Anyway, we'll talk about that later, I guess. But he tries to shovel the pass forward, fumble. So you lose the middle 8 and the turnover differential on one play with less than 40 seconds left in the second quarter. So that was the most important play of the game. And that's what Jordan Love has been bad about doing. These crucial moments, sometimes he tries to do too much. He's got to know when to, hey, we're going to tuck this thing and we're just going to live to play another down. Packer fans hear that, like I said, that minority group of Packer fans, and they absolutely hate it because they feel like we're playing too conservative already. I'm just trying to figure out how in the world they forget about the deep shot to Christian Watson that, by the way, hit him in the helmet, and it ends up, falling incomplete when it could have damn sure been a touchdown. So just tough situations like that is really what's come into play. You've got a whole bunch of stuff that's piled up on Matt LaFleur. When I hear people say fire Matt LaFleur, I honestly, from a Packer standpoint, I'm just petty enough to go, I wish they would, just so these fans could see what would happen the second he's fired. And the reality is, you were talking about Kevin O'Connell, right? People were upset about Kevin O'Connell. He's 23rd all time in winning percentage. He's got a winning percentage of .633, right? And this isn't a shot at one bar, but I know his fan base is doing exactly what our fan base is doing too. It's like, run them out of town. Guys, that means in the 100 plus year history of the league, there have only been 22 other head coaches that's won a higher rate of games in the history of the league. Matt LaFleur is sitting at 14th right now. So again, youngest roster in the league. You've got whatever it was, 4 starters out, 2 of which are really 3 of which are your top targets, if you will, on offense in terms of catching the football. And still at the end of the day, you took the defending Super Bowl champions down to a 3-point ball game. The thing that positive coming out of that game for me was we have a championship caliber defense. We got a lot of problems on offense. You got a quarterback trying to do too much at certain points. You've got a little bit of a personnel issue there where Matt LaFleur and the rest of the league, rightfully so, is trying to press into 12 personnel more than the league ever has here in the recent, past. And I'm more of along the line of, hey, let's press into 11 personnel, spread things out. And that's going to open up the running game for Josh Jacobs instead of nasty splits, 12 and 13 personnel, getting everybody in the box around the ball carrier. So there's a multitude of things that come into play here. But again, at the end of the day, I can't help but grin because the Packers are 5-3-1, and their 3 losses, they lost by a total of 9 points. 9 points. So Josh Jacobs finished, 21 carries, 74 yards and a tutter. Christian Watson had 4 targets. Listen to this, guys. Christian Watson had 4 targets, okay? He had 4 targets, 2 catches, 45 yards. Bo Melton had 5 targets. Bo Melton got targeted more, one more target than Christian Watson. And he is our backup cornerback playing flyer because the team is so banged up with injuries at the receiver position right now. So, that's to me what happened. The middle 8, the turnover differential, all the important statistics we always talk about, and Jordan Love making one crucial mistake. Now, the broadcast did a great job of showing open receivers running across the middle of the field. He couldn't get the ball to him. Why is that? He's getting some pressure in his face at times. Well, you're playing with your backup center at this point. So there's just a lot of things that come into play there. That's kind of how I've seen it. It's a turnover differential, and situational football is going to cost you a game. And when it only costs you a game that you lost by 3 points to the defending Super Bowl champions, I'm not going to scream fire the coach. Quite frankly, it's pretty damn embarrassing that fans are saying that. So,
well, I do have to ask you because I know that Christian Watson actually took to Twitter. Somebody had shown the replay of that deep pass and said, should Watson have caught this ball? Because the way he tracked it, the ball was there and he almost turned into a DB for I don't know what reason. Right, and was like, hey, was this a ball that he should have caught? And Christian Watson retweeted it and said yes. So, he even took some blame, like, yeah, I should have caught that ball, which is admirable of him. He's working back from a pretty serious knee injury too. So
it's been great.
Probably want to give him some grace. But so let me ask you this. I mean, we can go back and forth on whose fault it is and who it's not. None of that really matters. The point is the record's the record right now. You guys are fighting for your playoff lives. You got a very, very tough schedule ahead of you. So scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most panicked, 1 being not panicked at all. Playoff meter. How panicked are you that they're not going to make it versus how comfortable are you that they are going to make it?
So if it's 1 to 10, 10 being I'm panicked they're not going to make the playoffs, I'm at about a 3. It's possible they don't make the playoffs, but people forget about Toyotathon. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. Jordan Love and Toyotathon absolutely lights it up, and Matt LaFleur in December is lights out. They're in the lab right now getting this thing fixed. And again, we're saying they're getting it fixed. The offense struggled, don't get me wrong, but this defense, it's why I've got this bit of confidence. Is like we've never been here before, where it's like, holy cow, guys, we got a legit top 5 defense. Like we can win these games if you don't turn the ball over in that middle 8, that crucial situation, right? So that's why I'm more optimistic than doom and gloom for sure. Is there a chance they don't make the playoffs? Absolutely. If someone were to ask me what would it take for Matt LaFleur to be on the hot seat, if they fall out of the top 15 in the important offensive metrics, right, and they miss the playoffs this year, yeah, there's a reason to have a conversation. Okay, something went wrong. It's my personal opinion. You're still trying to field the youngest team year in and year out. And when you go up against a veteran team like the Eagles, they're going to make those plays. They're going to be cool as a cucumber under pressure, especially when they've already got Super Bowl rings on their fingers, right? So that's the difference, man. Maybe you need to add a little bit more veteran leadership on the team so it kind of stabilizes everything a little bit. Don't get me wrong. It's exciting, man. Everybody plays Madden. You turn on Madden and go, boy, everybody on my roster is 25 and younger. We're good to go. Real life, it don't work that way. So
Yeah, absolutely. And Dennis, yes, we do recognize super chats. We usually do it at the middle of the show, so we will get to you, brother. I do see your super chat in there. We got you. We got you covered. Don't you worry. All right. Well, let's talk about a winning team in this division. Gosh, Nick, it's been a while. The Bears pulled it off, getting themselves a win against the Giants, 24-20. Talk to me, brother, about your Bears and their winning ways.
No, super pumped about it. Obviously, they're playing pretty darn well. Can't complain. There's still a lot of mistakes. The defense very banged up at the moment. We got really good news with Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon coming back. But this past week against the Giants, I mean, if Jackson Dart was still in that game, I don't know if the Bears would have won. That guy was ripping us apart. That being said, Caleb Williams also, we're calling him the Iceman now because that guy is just super ice in his veins at all times. It's been great to watch, great to see him progress, handle, being more mature on the field, less and less mistakes week in and week out. I really am happy with this team. I mean, we went through our easiest part of the schedule that a lot of people are saying, which it was definitely on the easier side of things. And we finished 6 of the last 7. So I'm pretty happy about it. I couldn't be happier that the Bears are at 6-3. They needed to win these games because we have a super tough stretch. I mean, Minnesota coming up this weekend, I'm not taking that game lightly. They've won some games. They beat the Lions. So they're 2-0 in the division. Ben Johnson called that out too today. But this Bears team, they're finding ways to win. They're not giving up on each other. And the one thing that I was really happy to see, and I've talked about in the show before, is the confidence that we've seen out of this team versus what it was like under Matt Eberflus. This team struggled a ton under Matt Eberflus when it came to a confidence side of things. They would give up on themselves with 10 minutes left in the game, be like, yeah, we're done. We're getting our game checks and going home. No, these guys continue to fight to the end. That's exactly what you need to do. And we saw that against the Giants, and Caleb leading 2 touchdown drives in the fourth quarter, showing that he can, take it himself and make good plays. And I couldn't be happier for the kid. I think that if he continues to progress the way he is, he's going to be really dangerous. He's on pace for over 4,000 yards. And again, he might not be throwing 300-yard games, but he's getting the job done. We've seen really good balance out of the running back room. He's starting to spread it out. The tight ends were really involved in this game, and the offensive line just continues to gel, which that's been a huge issue for the Bears the last couple of years. So overall, the Giants game wasn't pretty. The Cardiac Bears did it again, but they were clutch. They got the win, and they sit at 6-3. Will this continue? I sure hope, but they got to clean up a lot of things in order for me to be more confident in them making at least a playoff deep, if they make the playoffs and making a deep run in it. Other than that, this is a growing year. We've seen the growth. We've seen them win games, and we saw that against New York. The only thing that I really want to see out of this team is obviously more out of the defense. The defensive line is starting to get going. We got a lot of pressure this past week against the Giants, but still letting quarterbacks run free like they did against Jackson Dart is not going to win a lot of ball games. But overall, I'll take the win. They looked good. Ben Johnson's play calling looked a lot more balanced. And we're 6-3 and we're at the top. I haven't sat at the top ever on this show. So this is a very good feeling for me, to say the least.
I think the biggest thing, at least from an outsider's perspective, is that Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson are fully locked in together. At least the optics, it would say that. You're seeing all the post-game stuff in the locker room, and he's talking about how gutsy the performance is from Caleb and how clutch he is and all these other things. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that you want to see, because early on, it did look a little bit rocky. And that should probably be expected. You got a young quarterback with a whole new offensive system, a complicated one at that. Ben Johnson's very particular in what he's looking for. We heard it all offseason about how he would take rookie wide receiver and throw him off the field and do all these things if they didn't run plays right. So it's very meticulous the way that Ben Johnson wants this offense ran. But as the weeks pile up, Caleb Williams is getting more and more comfortable. And I think, if anything, regardless of what happens this season, record-wise, playoffs, what have you, the fact that the quarterback and the head coach are getting in lockstep, that is extremely, extremely important. And, you talked about playoffs and possibly making a deep run in the playoffs. The fact that you're even having this conversation at this stage in the season with where this franchise has been, that's got to be a reason for optimism in itself.
Yeah, no, I mean, Bears fans are ecstatic about it. I mean, the city, I mean, all Chicago sports are doing really well right now. The Bulls are above 500, the Hawks are above 500, the Bears are above 500, and it's all led by young cores. And that's what's got everyone super pumped up right now. Is like, wow, okay, we're actually doing good things across our teams right now. We have good developmental talent. Yet the Bulls have struggled a little bit. We're not here to talk about them. But the Bears, you look at them, that's Chicago's team. That's where everyone seems to lock arms and agree on. And just from where it was last year, the difference of Ben Johnson and his staff is huge. And you can see it from the players. The players talk about it. They're bought in. And that's what really matters. You can be a bad team. If you're sticking together and, building this thing, this was supposed to be a progression year. And a progression year sitting at 6-3 is pretty big for us. So absolutely, we're stoked about it for sure.
Well, the Ben Johnson effect can be felt even through to the Detroit Lions. And I know Dose is not here, but maybe we can go a little roundtable here. Just out of curiosity, watching Campbell take over offensive play calling, I mean, that's not something I had on my bingo card this year. I don't know how good of an idea that is. I'm not really sure. We haven't seen this from him. It's one thing to do it against an awful Commanders team or what have you, but man, if you were a Lions fan, would you be a little bit worried about this change, or do you think this should be something that is welcomed by Lions fans? Clayton, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm with you. When I heard that and I seen him have to put the old glasses on the sideline, I was like, what in the hell's going on in Detroit? Is Dan really calling plays? And I got to be honest with you, man. I've looked at Dan in the past like he's a motivator, right? He's one of these guys. He's been in the trenches before. He's played the game at the NFL level. The guys respect him. We've all heard the speech from NFL films where he said, "Man, I wish we didn't have to do all this work. I wish we didn't have to put ourselves through it, but we have to. If there was another way, I wouldn't do it to you," right? He came in with the ankle biting and all that stuff, right? Or the kneecap biting, whatever it was. What he did was he created a culture, and he said, "Here's how we're going to play football. We don't care if it's ugly. We're going to win." Right. So I never seen him as, oh, that's the guy designing plays. That's the guy who's going to call plays. It blew me away. Does it make me a little nervous? If I were a Lions fan, I'd be going, it's not an ideal situation. But also, when he's the one calling that play in, his players love him the way they do. I can also see it being something that maybe they raise their game an extra notch to make sure the play gets maximized to its utmost potential. I could see that too. So yeah, I'm with you though. It caught me off guard.
I mean, yeah, and Jay Mommy does bring up a good point. He did do that the first year in Detroit, but that was, it was a little while ago. One bar. Well, what did you think when you heard Dan Campbell calling plays?
No, Clayton, same thing. Like watch him with his glasses on, tilted down a little bit, like he's 90 years old. Like the dude was dialed in. And you know what, Dan Campbell, I think he just got to the point and said, "F it, this is still my team. Right. I'm going to try to right this ship if you can." And he did. I mean, granted, like you said, it was against Washington. We'll see what happens against the Eagles this week on Monday night. That's going to be a little bit more of a tougher task. But I don't blame him, man. I mean, the Vikings got a front row seat. Even when the Vikings, if whoever forgot, when the Vikings beat the Lions, I got to bring stuff up like that because their season isn't overly great. I mean, the play calling was a little suspect. I mean, it was like, I don't blame him one damn bit. Morton, tough shoes to fill. I'm surprised they kind of pulled that out so quickly. So clearly there's definitely some urgency, but we'll see what he does against the Eagles.
And Nick, anything you want to add to that? Anything different from these guys? Or are you pretty much in agreement?
It was one game.
Yeah.
That's how great. It's great to see that your head coach has definitely learned from his play calling ability from where he first started. If he can do it for the next couple of games, then I'll be like, yeah, no, definitely the right decision. But it's exciting at first. It's good to see your head coach can jump in like that. I was kind of shocked by it, to be honest, but it's his team, his decision. Let it ride. It clearly worked. But he did it against a pretty bad team, a team that's broken right now. The Bears broke them. Thank you for that. We re-broke the Commanders. If he can do it again this upcoming week, then I start going, okay, this was the right move. But yeah, that was not on my bingo card. When I heard about that, I was like, oh, well, let's see what Mr. Campbell can do. And yes, he's not biting off kneecaps, but it was impressive to say the least. Do it again. Like everyone's saying against the Bears, do it against a real good team, and that truly test out your ability. That's kind of how I'm looking at it from an outsider looking in at the Lions.
It kind of makes you wonder too, man. Is he looking over at Ben Johnson and going, "Man, this guy's still in the show. Give me that place."
Yeah, give me that.
I'm saying maybe a little bit of that too. So.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Definitely could be. Well, we'll see because they are playing a very, very good team this week. Let's talk a little bit of sleeper just for the sake of time. I made picks for the week, and I'm going to shout those out real quick. But you can get a 100% deposit match of up to $100 using promo code RTS. You also can get a free $20 play without even making a deposit using that same promo code. A link is pinned to the top of the description. This week's picks, one of them already in, and we're good to go because it was a free pick, and that's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. All he had to do was log a single stat. It didn't matter if it was a point, a rebound, or assist. We took our freebie there. We got Devon Achane, who's on an absolute heater against a bad Washington defense who has one of their best interior players that will be suspended during this game. We've got him on the anytime TD. We got Kyron Williams, who's 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but he's usually good for a touchdown. And we got Jalen Waddle at 5.5 receptions. We took the more there because who the hell else is Tua going to pass to? So those are the picks of the week. We'll see if we win. You can either tail us or you can fade us. That is completely up to you. But one thing I would recommend is using promo code RTS when you play Sleeper. All right, fellas, we're going to get into the Week 11 preview. But first, we do have some super chats to get through. First of all, Aiden says he's a new member. We appreciate you, Aiden. Thank you so much. Dennis says the Chicago kid said can't draft JJ and re-sign Darnold. Waste of a pick. Basically saying that their back was against the wall because they had already drafted JJ. It is interesting because we look at the sequence of how that all went down, and one bar, I kind of am misremembering how it all happened, but it felt like to me that the way preseason was going, that if JJ had not torn that meniscus, he might have been the week 1 starter last year, and we might not have even seen Sam Darnold and what he was capable of. Am I mistaken there? Am I remembering this wrong? Like, what was the sequence there?
I think it was closer than everybody thinks as far as Darnold getting the helm. I honestly think Darnold would have started the season as a starting quarterback, and they would just saw how it went, assuming that maybe they're thinking, all right, this might just be a shit show. It'll be perfect. He does horrible. We put in the young guy. So in the best case scenario, he does great. So I think Darnold would have started that way. But, I mean, he's right. Like after the JJ, you're not signing Sam Darnold. It was never in the cards. It was never an option. That's why a lot of Vikings fans don't even feel bad about it or wishing Darnold. We're glad he's ripping it up because it really wasn't ever an option to bring him back at that much money.
Absolutely. And Jody came in with a regular chat and said that she's very happy about Dan Campbell's play calling, and she doubled down saying, how about the new doctor of offense play calling in Detroit as in MCDCOC. I don't even know what that is, but either way, yeah, I'm not going to say it. Go Lions. Well, we appreciate you, Jody. Thank you so much. It sounds like you are very happy with the play calling there. All right, we got one more sponsor to get through here. Let me make sure that I pull this up. We go here. We're going to share this. Hold up. All right. So listen, if you are playing any sort of daily fantasy sports, whether that is with Sleeper or somebody else, I highly recommend using RotoWire. Not only are they going to give you the best analysis week in and week out when it comes to your fantasy football team, but if you use promo code RTS, you're going to get 15% off, and they are going to give you the best analysis when it comes to making your daily fantasy sports picks. And how do they do that? Well, they do it through AI. You can go to Picks and Props, Daily Fantasy Sports Pick'em, choose the app that you rock with. Hopefully that's Sleeper. You click on that there, and then they are going to give you an algorithm, an AI algorithm, confidence level pulled directly from that individual website, all the props that they have, because we know that all of them are slightly different, and they will give you a confidence meter on each player's pick. So, for example, they got Judkins this week. They are the most confident that he is going to go more than 66.5 rushing yards. They are also very confident that Jameis Winston will not throw for more than 240.5 passing yards. And as you go through, you can see that meter gets a little bit smaller, which means the confidence level is not quite as high. So I would rock with them using the confidence meter. You can do so using promo code RTS, 15% off. Once again, link is in the description. All right, fellas, it is time to preview Week 11. Let's start with the Packers at the Giants, the Jameis Winston-led Giants. We know what's going on over there. One bar, let's start with you on this one. This is in the 1 p.m. Eastern time slot. Let me know who you think's going to win this one. Packers are a little bit weird. They lose to these teams that they shouldn't lose to. It's happened a couple times with the Browns and the Panthers. Is this another one of those weeks, or do they finally figure out how to beat some of the piss poor teams in the league? What's your score prediction?
Yeah, though, this is going to be weird. And the weirdest part is, like, Winston is starting. Like, the weirdness just is piling on. And it's a week after they fired their head coach. Like, you always see that. Like, are these guys going to come out firing for Mike Kafka? Like, it's if I'm a Packers fan, you know, it is the Giants, but I'm not feeling overly great. I'm feeling pretty good. I picked the Bears to kick the shit out of the Giants last week. I was wrong. It actually ended up being close, but the Packers got to win, Winston or not. I got the Packers. I actually have it close, 20-17. Selfishly, I just hope Jameis Winston makes it entertaining. I want him to see some crazy ass shit out of that guy, and I assume we will see that. But Packers win.
Okay. All right. I like it. Nick, who do you have winning this one, Packers or Giants?
You know, it's in New York, right, Clayton?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, interim head coach Jameis Winston's going to go out there and make some crazy comments before the game, saying how excited he is, how grateful he is to play in New York. The Packers got to win this game, though. They can't come off a loss to the close game to the Eagles and then lose again, especially with how tight the NFC North is right now for the lead for the top. So I got them coming out hard, swinging. I got the Packers winning this one. Yeah, let's go 21-13. I think it's going to be a closer game than we expect because the Giants do play with a lot of grit. But yeah, I got the Packers have to win this game.
Man, the interim head coach thing is always interesting because there is a lot of times where that first week that team gets hot for no reason. Everybody plays their butt off, rally around the new guy, and it's like, oh, where has this been all season? Then they just fall off a cliff. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but a lot of times it does. So, Clayton, there might be a live dog here in the Giants. I'm sure that you're confident, but maybe not overly confident. How do you see this one going down, brother?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a normal Green Bay Packers playing against a lesser opponent. It's going to be much closer than it needs to be, but it'll probably be under 7 points, I would imagine. The reality, though, is Green Bay has the 17th best scoring offense, and the Giants have the 25th best scoring offense. They've also got the worst rush defense in the league in terms of yards per carry allowed. They're allowing 5.5 yards per carry. They got a decent pass rush. And obviously, as I said just a second ago, the Packers passing game struggling a bit. I think they're going to press into the run. It ain't going to be a runaway 2-score win, but I think they'll probably win this one in a close one. I'm going to say 24-17 Packers. They rebound up there in Jersey.
Ooh, 24-17. All right. Well, we got a nice little division game in the 1 p.m. time slot. We got the Bears at the Vikings. This one's going to be a lot of fun. I'm definitely looking forward to this one because this could be the difference in a playoff bid here late in the season. We'll see how this one plays out. Clayton, we're going to go right back to you since you don't have a dog in the fight. Curious to see how you have this one going. Bears at Vikings, 1 p.m. Eastern. What are your thoughts?
It's going to be a really, really interesting game because, again, I think KOC is a great head coach. I think he's going to be able to adjust. Chicago just keeps finding ways to win ball games. And some people just brush that to the side and say, oh, yeah, well, they got lucky again. How many times are you going to say they got lucky again before you realize, you know what, maybe this team's just figuring out how to win ball games, right? With that being said, though, Chicago, I think they are, let's see, Minnesota in terms of their ranking. What are they, 15 in points per play, and they're 20th in points per play allowed? Chicago's offense, guys, don't look now, 11th in points per play. Their offense is right on the brink of breaking in as a top 10 scoring offense. However, their defense, 29th, last I checked, in points per play allowed. I'm going to give the slight edge to Minnesota, it being in Minneapolis as well. We got to hear that annoying ass horn all day long, but I will.
It's beautiful.
It's going to be Minnesota 20-17. I think it's going to be one of those you look back at the end of the year and go, man, that was a fun game to watch.
Well, listen, they want me to dock Dion's pay for not showing up. I can do my best Dion impression. I'll just I can throw myself in the corner, get super close to the camera.
Run your hand.
You got to have your hair done.
Yeah, I gotta, the Floby thing. You're right. All right. I can't do a Dose impression. I love Dose. Yeah, something came up for Dose, so no big deal. But we'll definitely make some predictions on his behalf as well. All right, fellas, you guys are in this one. Huge game for both of these teams. I mean, this is not a must win, but for two teams that are fighting for playoffs, like this is one that you definitely want to have, especially in division. So, One Bar, we'll start with you. Your Vikings are at home. You got the Bears coming in. You guys a couple weeks ago upset the Lions. I don't know why you can't beat the Bears here. Talk to me about this one. How do you see this one going down?
Well, I mean, we already beat the Bears in Chicago. And the best part, what a lot of people are forgetting is week 1, we didn't have Christian Darrisaw, we didn't have Jordan Addison, and our best defender, Andrew Van Ginkel, was like out there with a bobblehead, like his neck wasn't even attached. So like I'm actually feeling pretty damn confident going into this game. And from the Viking standpoint, being at 4-5, like I think this is more of a must win for the Bears. The Bears need this win. Going the 7-3 would be absolutely huge for them. For the Vikings, if they get the win, going the 5-5, it's like, all right, we're still just toying with our emotions right now because we got the Packers. I mean, it's a very tough schedule coming up, and the Bears have a very tough schedule coming up as well. So I think it's more of a must win for the Bears. But having Addison, having Darrisaw, Josh Oliver is going to be back. I think everything's, the stars are aligning for the Vikings. This is a great game to come to for the Vikings. Like, we need to get that offense. We need to right the ship there. And what better team to go against in the Bears, who defense, Nick, like you said, a lot of that is because of injuries, but this would be the week to get it back together. The Bears offense, yes, they're going to do some damage. They're going to put up some points, but also the Vikings defense are on back-to-back weeks of shutting down the run. If they can shut down the run against the Bears and put it in Caleb's hands, I'm down for that. I know Caleb is going to do some damage. I'm starting to become a Caleb fan myself, but I think they go back to it. I think JJ McCarthy, throw it 25 times, get Aaron Jones involved. Aaron Jones has been a bear killer throughout his career. I hope they remember that and give him the damn ball this week. I want 15 touches from Aaron Jones at a minimum and run the ball and set JJ McCarthy up for success. Justin Jefferson coming off his worst game as a pro, hands down. I want this dude coming out fired the F up. We need some fire from Justin Jefferson. His first game, week 1, he didn't really do that much. I think he had like 40 some yards. Like, this is the week. Kevin O'Connell seems a little more pissed off than usual. He's usually, everything's sunshine and butterflies. He's getting a little ornery, and I hope he takes it out on the Bears this weekend. And Bears, I like I said, I like their team. One thing on the Bears side, Colston Loveland, a little bit scared there. A little bit scared as far as Colston Loveland going against the Vikings. And like I said, Caleb Williams. But, the Bears, the Vikings kind of own them. They've won 8 of the last 9. We're the Bears' daddy. We're your daddy, Nick. Get to your room.
Well, at some point, Nick, you get old enough and the strength becomes the Suns and the torch will be passed. Is that going to happen this week? Do your Bears get it done, Nick, or are they still just not strong enough? Let me know, man.
Well, One Bar, you think you could come out here swinging your big skull? You think your horn's going to scare me? No, not too much. Not going to scare me at all, One Bar, because last time you won on a miracle by 3 points. You think you won by 3 billion points. You won by 3. Not that much. We're going to come into Minnesota, the place that Kevin Warren built, and go, wow, we're going to drop one on you, and we're a completely different team. I got the Bears winning this one 35-28. I still think it's going to be a very big shootout. That being said, that Ben Johnson knows what Brian Flores is bringing. This offense is a lot more confident. Caleb knows what he can do to win ball games. And this is a must win for Chicago. Like, no doubt about it. If the Bears can win this one and win it by more than 3 points, that means that the tiebreaker goes back to Chicago if it ever came down to it. There's still a lot of football left. Let's be honest here. But we got to win this game to go to 7-3, because then the schedule just keeps getting tougher for the rest of the year. Bears need as many wins as possible and going into that final stretch. But Jesse, like you said, he's been the father. He's been our daddy for so long. But we're grown. We're getting up there. The torch has to get past One Bar. And we're going to take it this time. That's okay. We're going to do it at your house. We're going to win big. We're going to win very big. That's what we do.
I'm sorry I said that. That actually seemed very creepy when you said that's your daddy.
When it
Well,
was said
that's my
back
Yeah,
fault.
you
That's
like
my fault,
probably
man.
saying that one.
That's on
bar.
me. That's on me.
They said I was on the Epstein files. Maybe it was you. They're trying to blame me like they always do.
All right, fellas. Every week I feel like I say this, but if you want primetime football, then you want NFC North football, because Sunday night, Lions at the Eagles. Big time game. Dan Campbell, new play caller, offensive play caller. Here we go. Lions at Eagles. We know that Dose is going to pick the Lions to win, so we don't need him here for this prediction. But the rest of you, I am curious to see how you think this one goes down. One bar, I'm going to start with you on this one. Lions at Eagles. How do you see this one shaping out Sunday Night Football?
Man, in Philly, prime time at night. That is going to be one hell of a game. I mean, this could very well be the NFC Championship game preview. I mean, I very look forward to seeing Hurts bounce back. Like, I don't think he looked very good last week. I mean, that game was rough to watch. But it's perfect matchups. I love it. I want to see what the Lions do against this Eagles defensive line, the defensive line against interior offensive line of the Lions that actually has been playing better. But hey, Dan Campbell, he called a hell of a game last week. This is his moment. He goes out there and gets a dub here, and if he's calling the plays, I would be shocked. I got the Eagles winning, though. I think it's going to be close. I got 23-20.
All right, Nick, who do you have winning this one?
Whew. You know, we have this Philadelphia-Chicago alliance going right now where we're beating all of the teams that they need to have beaten, and they're doing that for us. So I got them still riding that, and I got the Eagles winning this one. Dose isn't here. He hasn't been very nice to me lately, so I'm not going to be nice back. I got the Bears winning, or the Eagles winning this one, taking down those kitty cats. They're going to crush them. They're going to do what they should have done to Green Bay, but Clayton, your team decided to only be by 3, just like One Bar's team did us last time. It's a game of that much of a difference. Lions are going to lose. They're going to lose big. They're going to lose by 10. It's going to be 30-20.
I like how even when the Bears don't play, they're somehow winning the game. That's twice now.
We're always winning. Slip. All I do is win, Jesse. That's all you do. When you're me, that's all you do. Win, win, win.
Clayton, I got to get your opinion on this one. How do you see this one going down? You just saw the Eagles up close and personal. The Eagles were able to get it done. It almost sounds like you weren't that impressed, to be honest with you. Are you impressed enough to pick the Eagles to beat the Detroit Lions?
I am. I actually am. And the numbers suggest that, really. I mean, it's going to come down to, prime time. Obviously, it's funny, Dan Campbell took over play calling, but they're third in points per play on offense. The Detroit Lions are. It's like, what were y'all complaining about? Like you're scoring points, right? So you've got the third best offense going up against the 8th best scoring defense in Philly, right? And then of course you've got the 10th highest scoring offense in terms of points per play with Philly going up against the 15th in points per play allowed in Detroit. So it's going to be a close one, but I've got it Philly 24-21. People are going to look back and go, damn, Green Bay's defense is really that good, because Philly went out there and dropped 24 on Detroit like it wasn't nothing. So I think it's going to be Philly 24, Detroit 21.
All right, man.
Also,
Philly
Jesse,
sweep.
can I do one more thing real quick?
Oh, of course.
I have to give a birthday shout out to Relentless Mikey. He's in the chat today. It's his big birthday. He's a big fan of ours over at Just Another Year. Happy birthday. Hope everyone in the NFC North says happy birthday to my good friend.
Happy birthday, Relentless Mikey. We appreciate the support over here as always. We got a question on the way out. We're not going to be able to get a whole NFC North team. You might need to pay a hundo for that one. But what we will do is we will have everybody, if they were to start a team, head coach, quarterback combo, that's the most important. Ooh. So One Bar, let's start with you. Damn. Out of the NFC North teams right now, who would be your head coach and who would be your quarterback if you were starting a team? Actually, let's just go 1 year. You needed 1 year to win it all. Who's your head coach out of the NFC North, and who's your quarterback?
1 year? That's much better. I'll take that. So I'm taking Jared Goff as my quarterback, and I'll take Ben Johnson. They already know each other. Back
Oh, I
together
like it.
again.
I like it. All right, Nick, who you taking?
I'm taking Ben Johnson as my coach and Caleb Williams as my quarterback.
Move on. Unreal. You ain't winning no Super Bowl. Come on.
We're doing better than you. We're doing better than both of you in the chat.
We already gave you a butt
Keep
spanking.
walking. Keep walking. I can't hear you. I'm just winning too much, one bar.
I knew he was going to say that.
Of course, Clay knew you were going to take.
Yeah, I think I would have to go with Matt LaFleur as the head coach and Jared Goff as the quarterback. They have a little bit of history there. I think they spent 1 year together in LA, and that was his best year in LA, if I remember correctly. So I think they would gel really, really well together. I would have to go Matt LaFleur head coach, Jared Goff as a starting quarterback.
Absolutely. Well, hell of a show, fellas. We were short one in dose, but you guys were fantastic. Clayton, once again, thank you so much for filling in for Bass. I believe Bass will be back next week. You guys did a great job. The best panel in the business for Nick, Clayton, One Bar, and myself. Same time, same place next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. We will review week 11, preview week 12. Hell of a week of games. Have fun. Stay blessed. We'll talk soon. Peace.